Gavin Newsom is someone who recently, I think, has really leaned into an ability he already kind of had to more effectively communicate and aggressively articulate specifically about the threat of the right wing. Okay? I think we see a lot of Democrats who still have the mindset of kind of 1980s politics, be super civil, we're all friends at the end of the day. And while I wish that was the case, this is too real of a moment to prioritize that over being honest and clear about the threat that is posed, and specifically to our democratic process, as well as just generally the bad governing and policy making, or lack thereof, of the current Republican Party. Okay, so he's really, really good at this. And he raises a very interesting point in this MSNBC interview that I want to discuss, and it absolutely is universally true about so many issues. Take a look.
It's not just a messaging problem, but a messaging problem that has persisted with our party for years and years, constantly.
So he's saying the Democrats have a messaging problem, and he brings up a specific topic that is fascinating.
On the defense, we allow these culture wars to take shape, and we consistently are on the back end of them. 8 of the top 10 states with the highest murder rates, all are Republican states. How do Democrats not know that? In fact, it's really 9 out of 10. Georgia went for Biden, but it's really a Republican state, or at least a red state. 8 out of 10. And we're losing that message? Crime is higher, as well as taxes here for the average citizen. In Texas, it's higher, violent crime and property crimes than in the state of California. 67% higher gun death rate in Texas. Why don't we push back? It's not just a messaging problem.
Okay, so first we'll address the overarching point and then dive into the specifics of crime that he brought up. So yes, the Democratic Party loses on messaging 7 days a week, it seems, or we'll say 6 days a week. Maybe sometimes they pull through. But most of the time, the word he used was they're on defense. They're always having to respond to the latest culture war that has been brought up by the right. And then they have to play on the battleground that the right has laid out for them, right? And so because of that, you don't really get to clearly tell your story if you're constantly fighting someone else's. You know what I mean? Like if someone else is running a narrative and you're just trying to fight back against that, you can't make clear to people what narrative and what story and what message you believe in, right? And so because of that, the Democrats come off a lot less effective, and they come off a lot less likable or good to the average voter, because all they see, not all they see, but much of what they see is the Democratic Party fighting back pretty ineffectively against the culture war or the latest battleground that the right wing has chosen to lay out for everyone. And so it's such a good point, and I think Gavin Newsom calling that out and then following it up with an example that is something people definitely aren't aware of broadly in the country is very, very good. So let's get to that point. A lot of times we hear Republicans talk about, oh, these Democrats are allowing crime to be crazy. And now lately there is some specific cases of DAs or mayors or particular people in particular areas who are Democrats who have policies that I disagree with, taking it a little too far. I think they're not addressing the root cause. Okay, when it comes to crime. But for the most part, the lies that are told about the way in which Democrats want to handle crime is so upsetting, or they are so upsetting. And it definitely hurts Democrats and gives people a sense that it's the Republicans who really care about fighting crime. But as he rose, the top 10 states that have the highest crime rates, there's only 2 out of those that are Democratic states that have, went Democrat in the presidential, or even it follows much the same in the governor that they have as well. So take a look at this. He or he spoke about the murder rate specifically. And then here's just crime generally. New Mexico, Louisiana, Colorado, South Carolina, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Washington, Tennessee, Oregon, Missouri. So those are the top 10 with the highest crime rates. Oregon and Colorado would be the only ones you would say blue, right? Incredible. I don't think people are aware of that, but all of the highest, 8 out of the 10 of the highest crime states are run by Republicans and go Republican in the presidential. And people don't know that. And I love that Gavin Newsom's bringing that up. And that's an example that the Democratic Party needs to be just as aggressive. Now, bring facts. Don't lie, as we see so often. Bring the facts. Be honest. But then go hard. Be aggressive. And that's the way you're actually going to win on some of these things. It's not just about the policies you have. You have to have amazing policies. And I wish the Democrats had better policies. But then when you know you're in the right on those compared to the alternative, then you gotta aggressively message and make that happen in the outward facing world, because that matters so much in politics.